This is the 8-day Rooted in Worthiness Activation, a sacred homecoming to whom you've always been, where you'll uncover the truth beneath the noise, reclaim your voice, and remember your worth. Yay, we made it. This is day 2. I keep forgetting because I did the intro video, which was like day 0. So this is day 2, and thank you for coming, and let's celebrate. I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. Let's go. Let's do this. Rooted in worthiness. We're working on this together. If you're watching this in my community, welcome. It's brand new. I just opened it, and actually it's at the time of this recording, it's not even open yet. I'm gonna finish all this, and then I'm going to put it into the community. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do join our community. There should be a link around the video to get to the community. If not, it's somewhere on my profile there. It's lots of free content. It's gonna be amazing, transformative, I promise. You'll really enjoy it. So welcome, and thank you for making this all possible. Really, truly, I am grateful for you. And I'm really excited to talk about values, because it was a big, values and boundaries is sort of like that. It's so, it's sticky, it's one of those things that we have to have a solid foundation for, so that we can maneuver through life and do the other work, so that we can get through this healing and get on with living, right? Because we don't want to get stuck in this healing era forever. We want to get through the healing and start living a soul-aligned, purposeful, whole life, right? So let's do it. We're going to talk about values. So I'm going to start with a story. Not a story from a book, but one that actually I lived in my body for a very long time. I didn't grow up in a home I was in when I was adopted at birth, and lived in a home up until the time I was just past the age of 10 or 11, probably 11. But I didn't grow up like most of us. We didn't grow up in a place where it was safe to have my own values. I learned early on that the safest thing I could do was read the room and find my place in that room. What did that room need me to be? Quiet, talkative, not there. And that's how I survived in a home and that's how all of us did, in a home that's shaped with trauma. You scan, you shrink, you adjust, right? But you also learn that the best way to avoid the next storm was to please the person holding the thunder, right? Avoiding the storm is making that person happy. So that's what I did. I became the good girl, the helper, the peacemaker, anything that needed to happen in order for me to be in a safe situation. So I built my value system on the sand of other people's expectations. I bet you a lot of us did that. Whatever room I was in, I became what was required. My values? Well, they shifted based on who I thought I had to be in that moment. Whatever was going to keep the peace. Whatever was going to keep me safe. And as I grew, I was in and out of foster homes and lived on the streets for a while. I thought that value that I carried with me was called strength. I thought it was love. I thought I was doing it for me, but I wasn't. I confused a survival pattern for truth. And here's the thing, when you don't know what your values are, you're going to borrow somebody else's. It's true. You lose yourself trying to earn belonging, your silence, your truth, just to stay safe. Even in this recent situation where I talked about with this family member and my mom, I performed for her love. I abandoned my needs, my rhythms, my own values just to feel seen and just to feel wanted. Rest didn't matter. My emotional capacity didn't matter. My truth didn't matter. Only her approval. I didn't even realize it at the time. I just knew that I was tired, I was burnt out, performing every moment of my life and calling it love. But here's the moment it changed. One day I was bone deep in exhaustion. I was working 10 hours a day, coming home, maybe going to dance, maybe just going to bed. And then on my 2 days off I went, spending hours driving back there. Something finally whispered to me on my way home one day. I just remember it so clearly. It was like, what about you? What about your time, your capacity, your truth? And it hit me. I had been living in someone else's version of what mattered. And it was killing my spirit. So that was the beginning of reclaiming my values. That was the moment I stopped performing and started becoming. I had to start to set boundaries. So let's talk. What are values, really? Not buzzwords or branding or seasonal trends. Values are the soul level truths we stand on when everything else around us is shaking. Values are our compass. They're our North Star. They're our sacred contracts with ourselves. They are how we remember who we are when the world wants us to forget. We live in such a chaotic world. Where do we fit in? If you don't have a strong value system, you're just going to blend in with all the rest of the chaos. And what we want is for you to stand up and show your light, shine your light. Boundaries are impossible without values. You'll say yes to things that fracture your spirit, right? You do already. That's what you're doing. I bet you. If you're in this program, you are doing it or have done it or don't know how to get out of that loop. It's like we mistake being agreeable or being helpful for being whole. You'll abandon your self-worth just to be accepted. So your values are the foundation of your integrity, not the performance of being good, but the embodiment of being true. not the performance of being good, but the embodiment of being true. Most of us never sat down and said, what do I value? What do I truly value? Right? We inherit beliefs about safety, success, love, worth. We were told, put others first, be helpful, don't be too loud. Be grateful for what you got. Don't ask for more. So what happens is we internalize the needing less. That needing less made us better. That staying small kept us safe. And that our value was in the usefulness to others, right? But you know what I've realized? I inherited the value of keeping everyone else okay, but I never asked myself if I was okay. I never asked if that value even belonged to me. So it was survival, not truth. But the amazing thing is that's what we get to do now. That's what we get to do now. We get to redefine what matters. We get to choose values that align with our soul, not our wounds. We get to choose values that align with our souls, not our wounds. Here's the truth. Your values are energy. They are currency. Every day you are investing, every day what you invest your time and your focus and your presence to is what you value. So ask yourself, what am I buying with my energy? Are you spending hours living someone else's dream? Are you pouring yourself out to stay liked? Are you watching and scrolling and calling it connection when really what you want to do is creation? Because just like money, your energy has a return on investment, right? I say you get what you pay for, but I think that's more like, I think they're talking about like if you buy something inexpensive, then it probably isn't going to be as good as the thing that you pay more for. But honestly, you do get what you pay for in this situation. Because the choices that you make today are basically like compounding assets. They're building your future. What you're doing today is creating that future version of yourself that we're going to talk about in our stories. Because in our story segment or video of the series, we're going to talk about the future version of ourselves and what that looks like. And in order to get to that future version of ourselves, we can't be looking outside and taking on everybody else's values. No, we have to have our value system, because in order to get to that future self, we have to start living like that person, acting like that person, right? You can't be a bodybuilder and have all these muscles and be completely fit by, eating more chippies and popcorn and chocolate, because that's not going to get you over there, No, you got to start eating properly. To get to that, if that's your goal, then you got to start eating properly. You got to start exercising. You got to start somewhere. Here we're starting with our values. We looked at overgiving and losing ourselves, and then now we're going to look at our values. Because in order for you to be that person that is standing in their light, rooted in worthiness, we have to examine that. You have to be real. What are you building? What are you investing in? Who are you? When you invest in aligned values, you get peace. You get alignment. You get integrity. You'll know your worth. So, let's bring it down to earth here. Start. What? No. Think of a time when you felt so proud of yourself. Remember that feeling? What value were you living from there? Now, think of a time when you felt resentful or burnt out. What value were you betraying? This doesn't need to be perfect, but you do need to be honest. So what I recommend, and I urge you to do, there's going to be homework as well, but make this part of it. Make a value scale. Name what actually matters to you, not just name it, write it down. There is power in writing things down. I think I said to get a journal in my introduction. Is really important to have a journal. I have journals for everything. They're everywhere. They're just because it's so much better to just get it out in writing. There's power in that. There's power in getting it out, not just verbally, but writing it. Okay. So in your journal, write down, make a value scale. Name what matters to you. You know what? Name what matters to you. Not what's expected of you. What's real and what's yours. Maybe it's truth. Maybe it's simplicity. Maybe it's rest, creativity, depth. What is it? Maybe it's sovereignty. Whatever they are, write them down and claim them. Write them down, say them, claim them, build your life around them. Because your values are the way you remember that you are already worthy. Right? You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to earn anything. You already are. Just embody what's true. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your values are not what you say. They're what you choose when nobody is watching. Who are you when nobody is watching? They're what you return to when everything else falls away. They are the breath of your worth made visible. So breathe deep, stand tall, and choose what's real. You are allowed to live a life that matches your soul. You're allowed to live a life that matches your soul. You are allowed to live a life that matches your soul. And it begins right here with what you value. That was great. So I'm going to post the homework somewhere around the video. I should say core value homework. You can do it, I think it's a PDF, so you can do it online, or you can print it out, do it at home, do it like on paper. I always found that doing it on paper is better for me, but everybody has their preferences. So, but just do it. Hopefully before you watch the next video, which is on boundaries, and it's going to be amazing. I am really excited about the boundary one. Okay, it's going to be good. And thank you so much for staying with me and showing up for yourself and learning who you are, and that you don't have to earn worthiness, and that you are already worth. You are already worthy. You are already love. We just have to find you in there. And that's what we're doing, right? We're gonna come home to the love. Okay, so I will see you on the next video. And if you're watching on YouTube, just like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.